welcome to Baldy Moms on the Go. I'm Robin and this is Sonia, and we promised you a part 2 video on comparing, and this is it. So we're really excited to sort of share the ideas that we have about what happens when we are comparing with other moms or comparing with other people in general, and where those feelings are coming from.
So if you watch the previous video, we talk about that comparing is like not something that actually is happening because there is no comparing. And today we want to, so if you haven't watched this video, at some point go watch it so that you can have the two videos and see the tips that we're giving. So today we're sharing about when there is comparison, people share their advice and too much, and sometimes we feel like not good about it. It's like, oh, I should do that, or I should do that, or I should do that. So we want to like talk about it and then what's maybe triggering you.
Yeah, and every parent sort of has a different approach to things, and often if something really works for us, we feel like we want to share that. And so most of the time, the intentions in giving that advice or sharing those experience is meant from a good place, from the heart. You know, most of the time. And but even when it's not, in the end, it's really about how are you now going to take that information? Because if you're taking it sort of offensively, if you're being reactive about it, often that comes from your own sort of insecurities or unsureness of what you're doing as a mom. Because look, the truth is none of us really know what we're doing. We're just figuring it out as we go. And so sometimes we question ourselves. And then if somebody else questions something that we've already questioned about ourselves, it sort of brings up this rearing head, right? And then it becomes more emotional, more reactive than it needs to be, right?
Oh yes, totally. I know that I think it's really obvious when you first time mom.
Yeah.
And you have all these moms coming like, you should do that. Like, are you feeding you? Are breastfeeding? Are you putting your baby in the bed already alone? It's like all these advice popping up because we all have experiences with our own stories, and because we all unique and different, so it applies for us, but it might not apply as what we say for you.
Yeah.
But we feel like sharing because it's like we want to help.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but that's true that sometimes when you receive all this advice, you might feel like overwhelmed, like because it's feeding your fear of not doing enough or doing it wrong, or just like just because I know that you want the best of whatever you're doing, like regarding your babies, regarding your children, regarding your partners, your family, and then sometimes when you get so many advice, and sometimes you can really trigger something like, okay, I don't know if I should do that, will it work? And then questioning yourself.
Yeah, and take the time to sort of think about whether that advice has any value to you. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it doesn't. And if it doesn't, water off a duck's back. And if it does, then take some information. And now you have new information, and that's always a good thing. And if you're the person who's offering the advice, just remember that there is no one way to parent a child. And so when you're giving advice for something that worked for you, it may not work for every family. You know, Sonia and I, we have kids of different ages, but we're totally different parents.
Yeah.
But we respect each other and love each other. And so there is no sort of like give and take or push or like, oh my God, she does such a better job than me. It doesn't happen, you know, because we recognize that we have different children, you know?
Like we're all unique. You're unique, your children are unique. So the organization that you do together are not the same as Robin and her family. So what applies for me doesn't apply for her.
Yeah, I like how you said that, the organization, right? Like one company isn't going to run the same way as another company because of that as well, right?
So you can get maybe tips and then adjust and modify, and then maybe it's just like scrap that and see. And so it's like, so that's why there is no a guide to like how to mother. There's just like advice and tips and things that you can try, things that you maybe don't wish to try, but it's just up to you to like try out. And then we all learning to be a mom, like whether you're learning to be a mom of 1, 2, 3, 4, like we're growing together, and we're growing in our own path, unique path.
And take the time, you know, to sort of evaluate and look at these other women and what they're doing for sure, but don't do that as a direct reflection of what you're doing. That comparison is where the trouble starts. That's where we get into trouble, you know. So if you're at like a mom group or you're with your friends who have kids and you see the things that they're doing, what they're doing has absolutely nothing to do with you, you know? And then if you feel like somebody else is judging you, what I always tell people is what other people think about you is none of your business anyway. Just get on with things. Get out there, be good people, be amazing, and do the best job that you can, and then you'll be happy. It's when we start trying to compete or compare or, you know, do all of those sorts of things with other people that we end up with turmoil, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I really agree. Like when you feel judged, sometimes it's, yeah, as you say, sometimes this person has already triggers. Like, okay, because they feel insecure and then they feel like they should go on you, and it's like, you should do that like this way, not like this way, but this way. And it's their side to like heal or whatever they have to do, but they have something that they have to recognize and grow from that. But you are on your own journey, so get inspiration from people and tips, apply and try, and see, and then you're gonna have your unique way of growing as a mom. And there is no comparison. There is more inspiration, or just like removing any negative.
Sometimes removing,
any negative tips, because sometimes there is, and sometimes you just see that there is things that won't apply for you, and that's okay.
Yeah,
like you know yourself, or you get to know better yourself than other people. And then so you are like yourself judged to see what will apply for you best or not.
Yeah, and some people are really passionate about these some things that they believe in, and so when they come across with their ideas, what seems like maybe pushiness or aggressiveness is actually just sort of a real passion for their ideas. And that's great for them, right? And if they're passionate about it, like, get out there, go for it, do it. But again, take on what is good for you, remove the rest. Like, take it on and then remove the rest. What's important is that you're not sort of internalizing the idea or the thoughts of judgment. Right?
Yeah, it's like, don't keep it. Like, you could recognize, okay, why do I feel like, I don't know, stressed when someone is sharing a tip? It's like, okay, what does it refer inside you? Maybe there is like some
why is that reaction coming?
So maybe something happened in the past, in the childhood, and you feel like, oh, I'm reproducing the same path as my mom, and I don't want that, and it's just feeling your insecurity or something like that. Like relationship cycles.
That's a really good one. This relationship cycles, we talked about that, and that was a good connection.
But if you recognize that, okay, I feel like anxious about that, and because it's referring to something in the past, you're in a path of growing. So recognize that. It's like, hey, this has nothing to do with me now. And it's like, just like, okay, recognize, move on, what is the need, and I should do that differently, and move on and grow from that.
And every mom I know has a story about a time when, like, maybe like a stranger told them to do something about, like, I have a story about a stranger telling me to take my son's coat off, you know, like, so everybody has a story like that, an anecdote that they share. But it's really important that even when those situations sort of come up and you feel a frustration, to have a vent session or maybe laugh about it later, but just make sure that that is what it is. It's just a quick little vent session with a girlfriend to just release it, or it becomes an anecdote, a story to tell at a party, but it's not something that you're like, my son's 15, if I'm still holding on to that, then that's a problem, right? And so, you know, so make sure that even if in the moment you felt a reactive thing to it, that you're sort of, like she said, evaluating where could that be coming from, but then just be gone with it, right? Carry on and just keep doing the best you can, because we know that you're trying to, because all moms are, right? But just remember that what other people are doing is not necessarily right for you.
Oh yeah, I have a story.
I have a story too.
Okay, so this story is me when I was first time pregnant. I was in Gabon, in Africa. And so my husband is half from Gabon, so his family is there. So when I deliver my son at the clinic, so they all have these cultural tips for me, like a lot of like, you should do this, and that, and this, and that, and this. And I'm coming from mostly, I would say, European background. There's other view. I was like, oh, but I want to do this, and this, and this, and this, and like, not this. So I was struggling because I felt judged, because I wanted to do something differently, and it was really tricky to find a balance about understanding where they were coming from, and they were really willing to help me. But I was like, I want to do it on my own way. So I was like, oh, so I was sometimes sad or like, and with all these hormones after the baby, so it was like a lot of
There's
tears.
a lot of those,
A lot of tears. But it was like tricky to balance between my own choices and then don't have them disappointed because I wouldn't apply their tips and this kind of thing. So sometimes you have to go around that and then acknowledge that, and it takes time, but it can be like tricky, and I know that. So navigating around that.
I actually have a couple, but I'll just share one. My son was born in May, and Mother's Day was 10 days later. So we went out for brunch on 11 days. It was on the Sunday, so we went out for brunch on Mother's Day. He was 11 days old, and so I had him in his little, and I was exhausted. And a stranger came up to our table and started to give me trouble for having him out so young.
Okay.
Right. And I realized later that the culture that she came from, culturally, they stay home for like a long time after they don't leave the house for a long time. And of course, that's where that came from her. But I was very lucky because my mother-in-law was there. So my mother-in-law just sort of like took the lady by the shoulder and like walked her removed her from the situation and sort of saved me from an uncomfortable situation. But so what was important for me in that is learning later about her culture, this woman's culture and what was important to them in their culture. And so really for her, that was shocking because culturally that would be unacceptable for them.
Like having empathy.
Exactly. And so that helped me. And now, I just tell it like it's a joke. It's like an anecdote, but I don't hold on to it because she had her reasons and I had my reasons. I needed to get out of the house. You guys know me. I'm like, I can't stay home. So hopefully this is helpful to you guys. Hopefully you can sort of if you have questions, let us know. If you need to vent to us, we would love to hear from you and hear your stories about what's happened in your world, and then in the effort of, or in the vein of, releasing it.
So like, how do you deal with being judged or when you feel judged? What do you do?
What
are your tips?
So share. Comment below, share the video, all those things.
And we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye guys.